Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams. And welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. You might be writing something. I left my pen there. You might be writing something. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. As I was looking into the flame, Spirit said the chaos is over. Enjoy. And I had totally forgotten, talking about the pen, I had totally forgotten that just before the reading, I was like, it feels like something good is going to happen after a tough time, because it was storming and we had a warning for severe thunderstorms and all that. That already passed over. And just a few moments ago, the sun started to come out, 1:11 on the timer. So there is something now about like where Divine really wants you to trust that this is a time of peace. As long as there's peace within you, there's peace around you. Okay, that's what's coming through. Okay, we've got healing. And this could relate to inner child healing and release, surrender, and purge. Yeah, because the alternative to doing that, to releasing and surrendering, is being guarded. Okay? When you may not need to be. Okay, that's what's coming through, that you don't need to be. Remember to take what resonates. There's something about, oh wow. Divine is saying that for such a long period of time, what you saw through your third eye, and it was accurate, but you saw lack. You saw what was going on that was evil and out of harmony and low vibe. You were seeing what needed to be healed. Now, this is not just within your immediate realm. This could be within people around you. This could be within an environment. It could be a community environment, a work environment, or it could have been within your home. But for a long time, you were getting constant downloads of what needed to be repaired, of what was damaged even within your bloodline. You may have been connecting with your ancestral spirits and they were showing you the pain that your ancestors had experienced in order for you to heal within, so that you're healing your bloodline, right? But you were receiving all of these downloads. And that could have led to a feeling of like, dang, what is good with the world? Like, I just glanced at my empath oracle guidebook. So you're very empathic. You tune in, you feel, you sense things. And you may have started to feel like you were carrying the weight of the world because you were just seeing all this need for healing. But Divine is saying that now it's about surrendering to what is, and to the beauty of the work that you've done. You've done a whole lot, not only to heal your bloodline, not only to restore peace to your bloodline, but to do that for yourself as well with inner child healing. There's something about you, perhaps sometimes, there could have been something that scared you. I don't know why I was so sensitive to that. And that was like on my funny bone. Maybe that's why. Okay, so a sensitive spot. There could have, you know how they say your funny bone is very sensitive, like when you hit it, it hurts. It didn't hurt, but it just kind of shocked me a little bit. So there could have been a point within your past that felt very sensitive still. 444 on the timer, that felt like it, the memory of it still brought a sense of heaviness. And so there's something about an experience that you've gone through that has helped you to embrace that aspect of you, that younger self, where whenever it was that you went through that experience. And it doesn't have to be necessarily when you were a child. It could have been a year ago. But there is something about you choosing to heal something from the root. You could be working with your root chakra, okay? I had a spiritual teacher. I love her. I don't get to see her as often now, but I always remember she said, never just work on the root chakra, okay? And I didn't understand what she meant by that until I went through something very difficult that I had to heal. And what I take from what she said and my experience is that really when you heal all the chakras. If you're healing any aspect of you, even if it's within the heart space, even if it's within the third eye, whatever you do with one chakra, you are impacting your other chakras. So there's something about you working on a particular memory or a particular aspect of yourself. This could have been a shadow, something that at one time you felt ashamed about, but you've chosen to integrate it. You've chosen to love that part of you, that gift that you have, who you are in that way. You've chosen to celebrate it. Oh, I got chills. It's so beautiful, the work that you've done. You know I'm getting emotional. And it's like you've taken this part of you, this aspect of yourself, whether it's your whole inner child or just a memory or an aspect of you, and you've chosen to honor that. If there was something that you felt that, I don't know, maybe at some point in time you criticized yourself about how you had handled something, you're like, I'm not criticizing myself, because you began to change the thoughts that you were having about yourself at that time. You're like, I did the best I knew to do. And so you've time traveled, really. You've gone to a past situation and you've chosen to love yourself through that memory, and to look at yourself and to remember and reflect on that, who you were then, with grace. Giving yourself grace. You've chosen to give yourself grace. During every phase of your life. And inner child healing keeps coming through, but like I said, this could be something last year, 6 months ago, last week, okay? It just feels like it's in the past. Also, my Cancerian energy was kind of triggered there, my emotion, and so it could definitely be something from the past, because Cancer energy is heavily related to the past. But you're learning from it, and you're flowing in a state of peace around that memory or that era of your life, that time of your life, okay? Yeah, and I just saw that, because Divine was saying that whatever it was that you were receiving through your third eye, you're seeing it with clarity. They said remind them of that your visions that you get are accurate, okay? Memories and nostalgia. We just had 855 on the timer. I saw that. So there's something about gaining strength from the changes that you're going through, okay? Yeah, this is something that used to trigger you or used to cause conflict or disharmony. And I'm getting that this could have been that it caused disharmony between you, and it could be in a relationship, but it was more so what Divine is focusing on now is the separation within yourself that was happening before. And now there's unity within yourself. There's harmony within yourself. You're not fighting against your past, present, or future self anymore. You're just like, I am who I am. In the past, I did what I did. I was who I was. And I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And it's like peace. I'm hearing peace that passes all understanding. There might be someone around you that doesn't get it. Like, they're like, wow. They're in total awe. But This is your journey. This could be a masculine. You could be a masculine, or this could be a masculine that's seeing you this way. Yeah, you've chosen to be present. And in that choice that you're making to be present, you are so abundant. I'm hearing you're beautifully, wonderfully, miraculously, and magically abundant. That's what I'm feeling. Like when those tears were coming, it was all the chills. It was like, it's very overwhelming. In a good way, like in the best way. If I'm gonna be overwhelmed, I want to be overwhelmed by goodness. But it was just a rush of energy, and it's the work that you've done. It's so powerful. And so if I'm feeling that in this reading, imagine what people feel when you share your work with them, whatever that means. Now, this was coming to me in meditation earlier today. Oh, I see the connection. I was getting all kinds of downloads, and I was like, Spirit, just bring through whatever needs to come through, because I wasn't guided to write it down. It was just like, when it comes, say it. So you may be a teacher, and I mean like a spiritual teacher or some sort of guide. Also, one of my spiritual teachers came through in this reading, and she's very powerful, okay? So that vibe is already coming through. You are so brilliant. You are so brilliant. But there's something also about you being down to earth. It's so cool. I love your vibe. So this is what Spirit is bringing through. And this could just be confirmation because your third eye is lit. Okay, so you having gone through something, you're in this state where you're present, you're abundant, and you're grateful. That's the perfect state to be in order to allow your gifts to flow. So there's something that you are being guided, or you may be guided in the near future, okay? When the time is right, when you receive that confirmation, you're being guided to share something. It's a process. It's something that you know how to do. It's something that you know how to alchemize. You know how to transmute energy. Now, it feels like a lesson, okay? Because what's coming through is teacher, and this is what was coming through in my meditation earlier. There's something that is going to happen that is so miraculous when you turn over that information, that knowledge, that awareness that you've gained as a result of going through what you've been through to someone else. It could be to one person, it could be to the whole world on the internet. But it's about you teaching someone how to do what you have done. And you'll know exactly how to do this, because as I'm saying this now, I'm like, you know, somebody might think that sounds ignorant, like, or not ignorant, that came through. Somebody might be thinking that sounds ignorant, but that's their business. It's about arrogance. So someone might feel like, okay, if you've been called to teach something, you might feel like, if I share something with somebody, telling them how to do something, I'm being arrogant. That's one thing, okay? So Divine says that what's coming from you is so brilliant, it needs to be shared. The other thing is the word ignorant came through. There could be a concern of like, oh, well, what if people think that I don't know what I'm talking about? If you're sharing something with people on the internet, there's most definitely going to be somebody who wants to troll just because they are so miserable and have nothing better to do with their time. There are people who scroll the internet, scroll the YouTube streets, stroll on down the YouTube streets just looking for somebody to pick on or somebody to tear apart whatever it is that they've put out there. And it's like, of course they're out there, but it doesn't mean that your lesson or whatever it is that you're teaching or sharing, okay, that it's any less valuable. They might disagree with it, and that's okay. But you made it available to the people who will benefit from it. Now, take this if it resonates. If you have not felt at all like you need to teach, okay, but this is coming through in this reading. So whoever this reading is for, there's something about you stepping up to share the process or something about the process that you have gone through, because you have become a master. And that is what happens when you teach. So I spent 17 years as a classroom teacher, and one thing that I learned was that you use different parts of the brain when you teach versus when you're learning. So let's say if you've been watching videos or listening to audiobooks or watching something, either learning visually or through audio, you're using a different part of the brain to absorb that information versus when you take what you know and turn it around and teach it to someone else, you're using a whole different part of the brain. So you're processing the information in a way that upgrades your level of mastery of that content, of that lesson, okay? Thank you, Spirit, for bringing that through. Okay, that was for somebody. We're gonna keep going with the message. Ooh, and I do feel like this is something related to shadow work, because I'm seeing here how he's there in his shadow. There could be something that you're avoiding. I keep going back to those two words, arrogance and ignorance. You know, maybe the word teach makes you feel like you're trying to see yourself as like Yoda or like the almighty knowing, you know. So maybe it would help just to say, I'm going to share something. I'm going to put this out there. Whoever it's meant for, they'll take it. They'll receive it. It is coming through to me that sometimes a message that's meant for a person to hear, they might not initially receive it with gratitude. It's kind of like the difference between somebody taking a handful of seeds and just throwing them and saying, oh, whatever grows, grows, versus taking the time to dig up the soil and put it in there, you know, put a little fertilizer on there, help it out. So some people might just come along and be like, whatever, but the seed ends up growing, even though they weren't careful about receiving it, even though they weren't intentional about taking it in and taking it in with gratitude and love and care. The seed can still grow. And I find that that's a part of being in a role that is divinely led, or it's your purpose, your soul-driven purpose, is that, you know, it's good to do what you do because you're here to do it. Or because you've received that confirmation from Spirit to do it. Because if this is meant for you, you will receive or have already received confirmation from Spirit that this is your soul's purpose and path. You won't just be hearing it from me. But it's good to do what you do because it's your purpose, not because you want people to say thank you. And hearing thank you always helps, right? It's nice, but it doesn't always happen, okay? So just know that no matter what the reaction, you're doing something really beautiful, okay? Yeah, because you're helping someone to break chains and patterns of toxicity. And I'm seeing the word breakthrough, like breakthrough. I'm seeing somebody like when they chop those in karate or the martial arts, when they chop through those boards, those wooden boards with their hands. That's kind of like what you're helping people to do, to get past a barrier. But you're giving them the knowledge to do it so that they have the power and strength within themselves to do it. They don't need to go out and get a saw. They can do it themselves. But that takes strength. That takes understanding. That takes awareness of self and practice and self-discipline. But that's what you've been doing. So you can share that with somebody. And do it in the way that's right for you. You might be writing a book, because writing came through at the beginning of the reading with my pen. You might be creating art that creates an emotion within people that helps them move in the right direction with this understanding. So however you're meant to do this, you're ending a cycle, or a cycle has ended for you, but it feels like you sharing this creative work, however you share it and however you're called by the divine to share it, it really ends the cycle. Like, done. This feels like the final step in this particular cycle. Okay? After that, it's just about growing. It's about growing and enjoying the abundance and the pleasure and the peace that comes from knowing that this cycle is complete. Okay? Okay. Ooh. There could be somebody that you have encountered, or that in your creative process you have or will encounter, who likes to control. So let's see, because they told me already which deck to go to next. So let's see. Oh, and I put that, I didn't even realize I put that right over my guarded card. So there could be somebody that you're guarded. You feel guarded around. Because you've seen their controlling ways. What is this, Spirit? What's coming through here? Okay, Three of Cups, Six of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune. So this could be a group of people. It could be a whole group that try to control you. It could be a family group, community group, people at work. And the thing is your transformation has been so empowering and beautiful, but there could be somebody trying to throw some shade on it. If they're trying to throw shade at your growth, the growth that gave me chills and brought tears to my eyes, they're full of ish. I'm not even gonna like tiptoe around that. They are full of it. Because the thing about this person or these people, could be a group with the Three of Cups there, is that they recognize your greatness, but they don't want to admit it. And it doesn't even matter how they feel about your creations, about your healing path, about your journey, about where you're going next. You might be, this could be a group of people at a job, and they're like, you know, maybe you're moving to a different path. You're taking a different path. Maybe you're going to go from full-time work to part-time work so that you can work on your creative endeavors. Maybe you're changing your career completely. Maybe you're just going to focus on creation and not on going to work, not on working a 9 to 5. That'll be for some of you. But whatever it is, you're going to get what you deserve. You're going to get what's just with the Six of Pentacles, because you've done the work. And so Divine says it doesn't matter what they have to say about it. Their opinions don't matter. This is about you, beautiful being. And this leads to your Wheel of Fortune. This leads to you moving in total abundance because you have been working to do what you need to do. What you need to do. There could be somebody from this group that tried to discourage you from going on this healing path. I just saw 2323. And so they wanted to cause conflict with 2 and 3 being 5. But that cycle is done. Whatever cycle they wanted you stuck in, it's complete. And your Wheel of Fortune is turning every single thing in your life in the right direction. I feel like you've already done this. It's just that now it's gaining momentum. And by you sharing whatever it is that you're meant to share, or creating whatever it is that you're meant to create, you're supporting this Wheel of Fortune energy because it's meant for you. What you are divinely guided to do is truly meant for you. And so these Three of Cups, these people over here, doing all that, they were just meant to be like flies that are like, okay, they're flies swarming around. Am I going to get up from the park and not have my lovely picnic? Or am I going to zone out and focus on the beauty of this experience and just ignore the flies? You know, it's something like that. There also could be something that you could do in order to, I feel like there's something that you're doing that will enrich your peace. Like, You know, if there's a lot of bugs around you at the park, you can light incense. Or, you know, you can use, I like citronella for mosquitoes. It's something about doing something that's also good for your well-being and your enjoyment. You know how I feel about my incense. It's something about doing something that's good for you anyway. It feels good. It helps you to relax or to enjoy your process. That also will deter these people who are trying to be up in your ear. Maybe that's a part of the reason why I see you like making a move somehow. If you have a 9-to-5, maybe you're moving to a different location, or maybe you're doing telework instead of going into an office or a physical building. You know, you're just gonna be home. It's something about you doing something that protects your peace and helps you to enjoy your time more. But it also staves away these nosy, gossipy people. Because you're coming through as the Queen of Wands. You're doing now what's good for you creatively. Look at that. Also, Mama Oshun is coming through with that beautiful sunflower behind her. So you are beautiful. You are full of magic. You're able to manifest. You're blessed in love. Whatever intentions you set from this moment forward in love, watch out, because they're happening. It's happening. Okay? You're very powerful. You have the power to both attract and, I heard, and repel. So look, use those repellent keeps coming through, like citronella for the mosquitoes. Use your power to repel the forces that you want to stave away, and use your powers to attract what you want to bring in. See, and that's one reason why they hate your progress, is because you're beautiful. With the Queen of Wands and Oshun coming through. Oshun is the Orisha of the river, so you're very intuitive, but yet you're also fiery and passionate as the Queen of Wands. You're sexy, you're creative. So this was on the fence. That's what they hoped to do, because it went right over there by the Three of Cups. You're, that's Two of Wands. So they wanted to affect your planning somehow. They wanted you to see something differently as far as your options are concerned. In the process of weighing your options, that's where they wanted to project their energy. They wanted you to think that something was off the table. Maybe they wanted you to think that getting a pay raise was off the table, or that if you changed something and did more creative work, that you wouldn't have your needs met. Or like they wanted to put a worry on your plate that really isn't a worry. Remember, Spirit said, as long as there's peace within you, there will be peace around you. That could also be the repellent. Divine is saying that you have the power to repel these mosquitoes, these flies. And I have nothing against insects, because like whenever I see a fly, I know that there's quick change happening or something is ending. You know what I'm saying? So they have their beautiful significance in this world too. But as far as this group that's coming through here, you have the power to repel them. And somehow, because that message came through for a reason, somehow they have served you in some way. And I know that would get under their skin to know that. But it's because you've learned to alchemize. You've learned to transmute that energy. And so even the energy of death that they were trying to give you, like endings and, it's not a possibility, you know, wanting you to make can't the only word in your vocabulary, all that kind of stuff, you used it. You became empowered. And so even though their goal was to stop you, you were like, no. Maybe you started looking at this group and you were like, I don't want to be like them. You saw how miserable they are. You saw how much gossiping they do. You saw how much time they spend trying to troll somebody. Okay? Maybe if you have a space online, they were trying to troll you, get up in your comments and stuff like that. You were like, anybody who would wake up in the morning saying, what am I going to do to ruin somebody today? You were like, I don't want to be that. I never will become that. You may have said, I've been a lot of things, but a troll? Never. You know, there was something about these people that it inspired you to stay on your path. There's something with it being cups. There's something about this group, these people, that they are so unhappy about within their life, more than likely within their own connections, whether it's a love relationship, a romantic connection, or something like that. There's or friendships or relationships with their family. There's something that they are so unhappy about, and that's the only reason why they want to stop you creatively. Because they don't want to give birth to anything. They don't want to create anything. They just want to stop things. And in fact, when people like this see people like you sharing knowledge, creating things, making the world a more beautiful place, motivating people, okay, that might be something that's on your list, your divine list of things to do. They hate that because they don't feel motivated. And then they look at you and they feel like they have failed in every way. But if they would tune in to what it is that you share with the world, or what it is that you create, or what it is that you say or you write, then they would realize that there's power in that for them as well. There's a sense of empowerment. They could take the beauty of what you do and grow from it and learn from it, but instead they're trying to flame, or like put out your flame. Fan out your flame, that's what I wanted to say. They're trying to fan out your flame, extinguish it, and it's never gonna happen. All they did was they extinguished the flame that you once had for them, to keep something going, to keep building with them, or to keep giving them a chance. So here you are in your energy, looking at your plans and possibilities in a positive light, not allowing their voices to interrupt your flow, okay? They may have tried to project energy towards you spiritually so that you weren't channeling or getting accurate messages. That doesn't work because your third eye is clear. And I'm getting that you do intentional work to protect your energy, and that's why if you get like negative vibes or energy when you're channeling, you're just picking up on their energy. You're becoming aware of it. You're tuning into it, which is what came through, that you have seen so much. And this could have been when you were channeling. You were getting downloads, realizing, gaining awareness as to what's really out there. And what you saw that was out there, perhaps being projected towards you, it was very ugly. It wasn't nice. It wasn't kind. It wasn't loving. And it wasn't even honest. I get that you're a very divine being. That's already very clear. So you enjoy honesty, even if it's not really what you want to hear. You would rather have the truth than any lie. But the reason why this perhaps at one time was hurtful was because it wasn't even true. The negativity that you were picking up on, it wasn't like, oh, it was a truth that was just hard to handle. No, they were actually saying things that weren't true about you, about your gifts, about your potential, about your abilities. Okay, let's go here. And then, thank you, Spirit. Okay, so intention is everything at this time. And that already came through with the Queen of Wands, that whatever intentions you set, your power to manifest is so powerful. It's so great at this time. Greater than it's ever been, I will tell you that. It's greater than it's ever been. And this is over past lifetimes as well. So use your time, your energy very wisely. Because whatever you give your energy to, it will grow. It will become huge. Okay, so this negative energy here, don't feed into that. So intention is extremely important at this time, beautiful being. Yes, your joy. Now, whatever memories used to give you, bring pain or suffering, you're finding the joy in it now. And it could be because it's been an inspiration for you creatively. You could have taken something that felt very heavy and difficult to process at one time, and you have healed so much that now when you reflect on it, it actually brings you joy, because now you associate that memory with the creations that have come to life because of your willingness to transmute that energy, to delve into it and to go into that darkness and to see what you are able to create from it, what you're able to learn from it, and how you're able to share those lessons with others, whether it's through an actual lesson. Like you could be a professor, you could be you could be on a scholarly path, or you could be like, getting out your phone and just talking to the camera, or you could be an artist, you could be a painter, you could be a musician, but in some way you are channeling the energy of what you have learned into your work and you're sharing it. Okay, Spirit said to I'm gonna go in just a minute, we're gonna wrap this up, but I want to close with this deck. Oh, I told you your third eye is on point. Don't you ever doubt that. Also, your crown chakra. Oh, boundaries. Yes. Protect your psychic vision, your clairaudience. Protect your whole aura, all of your energy, your senses. Protect your psychic gifts. Okay? The boundaries there. Very important. I feel like that was the message, but let's see what else. Oh, there goes Delilah. Also, I notice I'm so sensitive in this reading. So, oh, that's a message. Your psychic gifts are extremely sensitive at this time, beautiful being. Okay? So protect them. Guard them. You know, when Delilah comes through, it's like, who at the door? All of the work that you're doing leads to your abundance, your affluence. I told you it's about enjoying your own energy now and the energy of every single thing that you create, because it is beautiful, it is divine, and it is a manifestation of the work that you've put into yourself on your path and the love that you've chosen to give yourself. You chose not to hate yourself through a process. You chose to love yourself through a healing process. And that is what makes you so powerful. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for the changes that you're making and that you're creating. And if anybody has something negative to say about it, just know that it's because of the negative space that they're in. It is not a reflection of you. It's just very telling of where they are. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I am so grateful that you allow them to come through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I love you. I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.